Anyone who has owned a Mk7 Fiesta knows that the taillight globes are pretty much considered as consumables because they expire pretty much every 6 months, especially on the facelift taillights before 2017. I remember on my old ST I used to change them at least every 6 months or so. For some reason they just don't last. And I've noticed since getting this ST200, I've owned it for about 2 years and I haven't had to replace one yet. But this week, the rear right taillight, rear left taillight rather, went out and I had to replace it. Obviously, this was muscle memory as I had done it so many times on my previous car. So I thought I'd make a video showing you how simple it is. All you need is 2 tools. A normal star screwdriver and a T20 attachment for T20 screw, and yeah, very simple to take out and very easy to change, and it's going to save you a ton rather than letting a mechanic or your local dealer do it, because they will charge you an absolute fortune for a job that should realistically cost you only a couple of tens of rands. Well, that's what it cost me. The globe itself was 10 rands. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing to do is go into the trunk and you're going to locate the star nose screw that is on the side of the boot, and you're going to want to undo that screw. Just be careful because it is quite difficult to get out of that little socket. A magnetic screwdriver would obviously fix this problem. After you have done that, you want to try and peel away the lining on the interior. Just be careful not to obviously snap the plastic at the top, as it can be a little bit brittle. It might feel like it requires a bit more force than you'd need to, but you'll get it done. After that, you now want to remove the 2 T20 screws on the outside, the one at the top and the one at the bottom. It is not the one on the gray part there, it's the one on the black material. Just those 2 screws need to be removed. So you're going to grab your T20 and you're going to go to work there, making sure that you obviously try and avoid breaking anything or smashing anything with your screwdriver. They are relatively easy to take out. Once you've loosened them a bit, you can even just use your hand to do them out the rest of the way. Then the next one, as you can see, there is a hole in the bulkhead there, and what you want to do is stick your hand in. You're going to have to be very careful. You're going to feel a small plastic nut that goes around the headlights. You're going to have to work that loose. Be careful, do not drop that inside, you will lose it. You must then carefully pry the headlight out. Try and work the bottom away first, and then the 2 clips at the top will come out. You then want to unplug the light from the car. The connection there, it's quite simple. You just press in and pull away and the connection will be disconnected. Once you have done this, you now have access to the brake light bulb. You simply rotate it about 30 degrees and it pulls out. There is the old bulb. You just want to simply remove that from its socket. Then here you can see I've got my replacement bulb. This I picked up for, as I said, around 10 rand, so really not expensive at all. A dealer would probably charge you probably 200 bucks for that. So basically the opposite process now. You plug that into its socket and be very careful when placing it back into its hole that you don't obviously break it. You then just rotate it back 30 degrees and lock it in place. Now it's simply a case of everything in reverse. Re-plug in the light connection and then make sure that you thread that metal screw back in through its hole and push in at the top to make sure the top 2 clips go in, and then it should just seat itself back into position. You then want to go and reattach the 2 T20 screws on the outside. Make sure that you don't tighten them too much. They should be securely tightened, but not too much as so that you break the plastic. Just tighten them till they sort of have no play in them. I wouldn't recommend tightening them any more than that, as you risk then damaging the clip that's holding them to the car, which you don't want to do, obviously. Once you've done that, back to the interior. You will then take the plastic nut that you removed earlier, try and find the screw that's on the inside. Be very careful, once again, not to drop that nut. If you drop it into that hole, it will be almost impossible to get out. So just take your time and be careful with this process. It takes quite a few turns to get it threaded back, but once that's in, you can then fold back the carpet lining underneath the plastic upper and get the water tights rubber around the outside of the boots, get that back over, make sure that everything's sort of flush and fitting back nicely. After we've done that, we can then return the star nose screw into its little hole here, where we can get everything tightened back up the way it was, and she's as good as new. There you go, guys. So as you can see, a very quick and simple job to do. It takes me around 10 minutes now that I've had enough practice, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, obviously. It's just an easy way to save some money, because the dealer will charge you a lot for something that's quite an easy job. I'd recommend just getting a small little toolbox like this that has a bunch of different heads. It will make something like this a lot easier. And you can just keep it in your car and have it on hand at all times, just in case. I'm not sponsored by Bosch or anything, it's just happens to be the brand that I managed to pick up. But yeah, anyway, give the video a like if it helped you, and yeah, consider subscribing to my channel for more insightful, informational and educational videos like this. Cheers.